autumn wind is a Danette, stumbling in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps all wrong, staggering boisterously. His face is constantly beaten. He wears a broken mask, with a helmet wedged upon his head.
My ears are stuck.
And a 70s cop drama mustache. He meows as he pounces across the room, a hoopster, big and bold. And the people did say, let the booker eat cake, and then frolic in the cold. The autumn wind is a Danette, whimsical in the sun, but don't dare flinch and mutter ow. And yes, the box score starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Guys, another day of waiting on the Deflategate decision. So another day of speculating. Kicker and NFL PA committee member Jay Feely joined the show today and broke down the Deflategate negotiations. Now, Andrew, if you were a pro player, would you want to be a member of the NFL PA?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you don't have a choice. But yeah, I want protection in case Dan tries to suspend me for 4 games for something I didn't do.
Well, guys who join those committees and things like that, don't they get to go to golf tournaments like Arizona and the Bahamas? Like they have conferences, you know, where they go to, Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, right?
Yeah, the offsites.
The offsites,
Go do some offsites.
That'd be cool.
And usually you're not getting pats on the back for something good or positive that happens. Like if something doesn't go the Players Association way and you're one of the executive committee members or whatever, they're more likely to come track you down, your fellow players, saying like, how did you guys screw that up, or what did you guys miss in the contract if something negative comes up?
Why you look at me? I didn't do anything, Todd. It wasn't me.
From your legal background.
Oh, from my paralegal background?
Your paralegal background. I figured if you were going to get involved, no one's going to come up to you.
There's a great shot of the back of your head there when you're saying
No one's going to come up to you and say anything positive, but if you do something positive, but they're going to come find you if you don't do something.
Yeah, I mean,
for the
it's no secret, Brock, that we've talked about unionizing this shop before. The Danettes. Remember when we talked about?
Yeah, that got kiboshed real quick.
Remember we were going to picket over something? What was it?
We were going to protest.
We were going to protest.
Well, but even we've had
Maybe
some successes.
breakfast.
We've had some successes. It took us 6 years, but we got breakfast.
Yeah, that was huge.
And you know what? It was great for morale. Everyone's happy. The breakfast situation is better than ever.
It's never been better.
It took us 6 years.
Yeah.
We, there's been some talk about building a second bathroom or improving the first bathroom.
Oh no, I pitched that. I pitched a budget of $2,000 to fix up that bathroom, and that was a no. I was told no.
That was a long negotiation that we lost.
All right, well, these all can't be victories. Even though Norma Ray won her fight. All right, now Jay Feely talked about the negotiations yesterday and where the major differences still lie.
Well, yesterday wasn't much. I mean, yesterday was basically he brought the owners into one room and found out where they were going to get to. What was your best offer? And brought us into a room and basically asked Tom, where he was willing to go. The big difference was that Tom Brady was not going to admit to culpability. He wasn't going to admit to something that he didn't do. If they wanted to find something and they would have said that he didn't cooperate with the investigation, then we could have probably found common ground.
Yeah, basically, we're kind of at a stalemate, and it sounds like, in spite of Judge Berman's best efforts to get these guys to someone to budge or someone to flinch and try to come to some kind of agreement, he's going to have to make a decision. As much as it seems like he really, really wants to avoid having to, whether it's today or tomorrow or certainly by the end of the week, have to pick one side over the other. And then there's going to be a series of appeals, as we have been speaking about on the show. You don't have to have a law degree to realize that whatever way they go with the decision, there's going to, it's not going to be the end of it. But basically, in listening to Feely, as far as what happened in court, it's kind of nothing's changed. No one's going to budge, and ultimately, Judge Berman's going to have to either vacate it or uphold the 4-game suspension.
Now here's a question. Let's say the legal process doesn't work anymore. You put Goodell and Brady in a room and say, one shot, arm wrestle. Who you got? Goodell's thick, man.
Yeah, Goodell's thick.
But he's older.
Yeah.
But usually that
Tommy's not a muscle guy.
no,
though.
but he's a current NFL player.
Yeah, but I don't think he's.
You gotta believe Brady would ultimately win that. But Rodgers.
I don't
Really?
know.
I think more people would bet on Goodell because old guy strength, old football player strength.
Right.
Goodell's got a little Vince McMahon going, you know? He's
Yeah.
got a little strong
Roger Goodell
commissioner
ever play
guy.
football?
I think he played at Georgetown or no,
but-
GW or something.
Play? He went.
Yes, he played linebacker like
George
at some.
Washington.
But if Brady taps into
Someone
like a
Google that.
competitive thing,
If we had a research staff. Yeah,
Brady would have to tap into
that'd be
that
good TV.
major anger of how his legacy is changed.
I'd watch that. Maybe they'll put it on audience. Dan asked Feely if the NFL was just trying to save face, and then Feely put his foot on the gas.
I mean, I think the NFL got backed into a corner from day one that they couldn't get out of. And they've had to try to save face and fight their way out of it and say that their marquee player who's never gotten in trouble was conduct detrimental to the league and did something wrong.
Is Commissioner Goodell good for the NFL?
I think he's done some good things. I think his biggest hindrance has been his refusal to go to neutral arbitration. When you look at all of their big mistakes, whether it was Star Caps, the bounty scandal, Ray Rice, it's because he didn't have a neutral arbitrator. And if the process seems unfair, inherently unfair to the players, to the general public, then it's not a good process.
I really appreciated Jay's point of view here, his perspective, and we haven't had a lot of that. It's been a lot of people, either like former players being like, yeah, of course they cheated because everybody does, or like other media members, columnists, things like that. But to have like an NFLPA person on, granted, I'm obviously on one side of this. To me, it felt like, all right, finally, like somebody's actually, he didn't just go all in on Brady's side. He sort of gave good and bad for both sides a little bit.
Yeah, I think it goes a lot towards credibility when a guy who appears to be on one side of a topic by his title is open-minded, says, yeah, Goodell's done good things, and here's some specific bad things he's done. Like, no, he's awful for the league. Well, what? He actually said Star Caps. He talked about the bounty gate. It helps a lot with your credibility if you're open-minded on a topic. It helped with Jay.
Paulie, if you could either have Goodell or Brady on the show for 3 minutes and they would have to tell the truth, who's it going to be?
3 minutes, Brady. I think 3 minutes is almost enough. If the guy said, I'm going to answer 6 questions, yes and no, this whole thing would be over. At least, I mean, he could lie to us, I guess, but there's probably about 6 or 7 questions, yes or no questions, or specific factual questions that I would ask him and put this thing to bed.
I think you guys have to go with Brady. I mean, you ask him where he gets all those marvelous scarves. All right, stick around. It's getting bro-y and nerdy here. Hey, you're a little bit bro-y and nerdy? Bye, bro nerd. I got the truck for you. It's the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. It can haul a trailer and tow a boat just like the greatest bros, but its super nerd technology makes it fuel efficient as possible while you take the ladies back to your place from study hall. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
How old do you feel?
How old do I feel?
Yeah.
25, almost 26.
Well, what is it, 2 weeks before you're 26?
I think so. I don't know about that. It may have been taken out of context. I don't view myself as a football deity by any means.
The acting, how would you rate your acting?
Oh, man. I don't know if it's my place to comment on the rules.
Welcome back to the box score, guys. Colts quarterback and freshly minted nerd Andrew Luck called in today. Now, Fritzy, you seem to stay away from this whole nerd conversation. Was that because you were offended for Luck?
I don't know if I partially just felt bad and that we were piling on a little bit, but I also get sensitive because, you know, as the person that's generally the conduit to setting up these interviews, I always have that in the back of my mind. So I need to be careful what I say. I'm going to get some kind of note from Colts PR or someone that's like, why are you like, you know, you want to have, you know, you've been trying to get Andrew Luck on. He finally gets on the show and you're making fun of him. But if they do it, I feel like it's you know, I can maybe giggle in the background a little as opposed to if I'm, you know, initiating that or really having a big belly laugh over what Andrew Luck sounds like.
I totally agree with that philosophy by you. I think it's important you do that. And also, you're not great at making fun of people, which is why you. It's not natural. It feels
I did find it
to the experts.
I did find it funny, and I did, and I'll say that Paulie did a great impersonation. But I always have a little bit of that concern that at some point, either right away or hours or days later, there's going to be.
How many notes have you gotten from the Chargers over the years about your almost weekly takedown of
I haven't, but I think that they're well aware of how.
Yeah, how many times has Philip Rivers been on the show?
How many Chargers have been on
I
the
don't
show?
think it's because I don't think it's because he hasn't been on. I hope it's not.
I've got notes from the Chargers about what you said about Phil Rivers before.
yeah?
Oh yeah, I showed it to you like 2 years ago. Absolutely.
Well, I'm hoping that this just hasn't worked out in the schedule, that it's been so long since it's been on, and not because one of us
it's the one
is a
person
Bronco
Todd goes
fan.
after.
Yeah, that would be
The
kind of
one
lame on
person.
their part. You know, we have Raiders on, and
So it's on
Chiefs
their
on.
it's their fault.
If there's even a 1% chance that Philip Rivers hasn't been on the show in a while because I'm a Bronco fan and I've said on the air that I'm not a big fan of the way he whines or taunts.
Well, then you
on doing
then you
it.
should make fun
Keep
of
on
everyone
doing
because if you don't think it's possible that he's not on because of that, because then
I
you jump in
guess.
on the luck topic.
I don't know, but the Rivers thing, I have wondered that. It's like, why on so many occasions we haven't had him on, and I'd really like to believe. And they always come back with an explanation that is, not that they're going to necessarily be honest and say, well, when you stop calling Philip Rivers a whiner, then.
So what are their
35
explanations? It's been how many years?
They did. It's always, he's just not available right now. He wants to hold off. He's focusing on week 3. He's concentrating on week 11. It's the off season. We're going to leave him alone. There's always a way there's always something you could come up with. The season just ended, or the season's coming up in 5 months, or his contract situation's up in the air.
Yeah.
And so
He's got lunch coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, it's very, he's waiting on a turkey sandwich. It hasn't been delivered yet.
It's all piece Fritzy's meat.
Yeah, Fritz, you stayed out of that conversation today. What do you consider yourself, nerd or bro?
I consider myself more on the nerd side. I think when on the occasion that I go to the gym and I'm like trying to flex in the mirror or try to act like a tough guy as a weekend warrior when I get over there and I'm looking in the mirror and doing.
Do you want to let us handle this?
Cool guy.
Yeah,
You can't
You could
objectively
possibly have it.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah, please, Paul.
Fritzy is a wannabe bro trapped in a nerd lifestyle. Fritzy did his book reports on time, stressed about tests, probably went to class in college, right? A lot.
Pretty much all the
Probably was nice to people.
It's like he's got a bro body and a nerd mind.
Right. But he wanted to be a bro. He owned weight belts in high school, walked around with weight belts on, Zubaz pants, had a Mustang 5.0 stick shift drop top with an Alpine stereo system. I mean, that's
And a vanity plate.
Right, with a vanity plate.
You skipped right over bro and just went right to douchebag.
You're a bro, douchebag, whatever you want to call it. And that's you want to be a bro.
I was very caught up in my academics, and I did well enough in sports where I wasn't seen as a total nerdy outcast.
You were not a good athlete.
But
you weren't.
There was a place in Brooklyn. I was decent. I made a couple.
Did you play varsity sports in anything?
I did. I was the second doubles backup tennis.
That's a no. You were a nerd.
2 other kids got
second doubles varsity tennis.
That definitely goes in the nerd column.
Well, they did help me volley with before.
You didn't play varsity.
I hate to say this. Things that were associated with nerd are like liking Game of Thrones, liking Star Wars.
Yeah, I wasn't
That's not true. That's all super hipster stuff. That's Game of Thrones. No, Game of Thrones is super hipster.
Star Wars is nerd, dude. Nerd and hipster, by the way, are
Star Trek
twins.
is nerd.
I wasn't
Star
into
Trek.
that kind of stuff.
This guy hasn't seen a movie since 1988. He is not in the
I've seen movies, but they're they're late at night when everyone's asleep and.
He's bro, dude. He's
bro. That's your nerd.
Cinemax.
The Cinemax is nerd.
No, Cinemax is so bro.
No, it's not. Cinemax is nerd.
No way.
If he was a bro, he'd be out at the
Sci-Fi
bar,
Channel is nerd, not
a bro
Cinemax.
would be enacting
want
those
to
Cinemax
escape into
movies,
you want to
not
escape
watching
into
those.
that
No.
Bros watch late night Cinemax with girls. They don't watch it alone, right? With other girls. They're with girls.
More like with other guys is a lot more likely.
The other thing, Fritzy loves baseball hats on backwards. He loves just doing arms and skipping leg day. That's bro.
That's super bro.
Silly. Comic-Con is the center of all nerd activity. You've never even heard of Comic-Con. You have no activity with Comic-Con.
Well, that's apathy.
I'm very unfamiliar with.
He's a bro, dude. He's a bro.
I agree. He's more bro.
Not knowing Comic-Con
Zubaz
goes right back to not seeing a movie since 1986. It's the same thing. He just doesn't care enough to update anything.
Have you ever played
I
Dungeons?
remember being on the road and people were dressed up
Ever
as
played
like
Dungeons?
Shazam and Superman.
Ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Have you ever rolled a 36-sided die?
Stratomatic baseball,
No,
football, the All-Star baseball.
Have you ever claimed invisibility powers of any kind? Anything? Nothing.
Have you ever made out with a girl with Copenhagen deep in your lip?
Not.
Okay, that's bro.
I've never had a cigarette in.
Cigarettes aren't bro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying,
Red Man is
as
bro.
far as like the nerdy kind of thing, where like I haven't even tried any of that. And, I tried a beer like once and I didn't like the taste.
That oof.
Yeah,
Because bros don't like the taste of beer. We like.
Oh, it's just to kind of
Yeah.
drink it and be seen with it.
Tastes so good on your lips.
Yeah, it tastes so good when it hits your lips.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm writing down the
lots
time
more.
codes. This is all going on the Emmy reel. Super duper. Coming up, we'll see how well these bros and nerds know themselves. Welcome back to the box score. You guys have worked in close quarters for quite a while now. Now, I am sure there are some things you would want to change about each other. As a matter of fact, I know this for a fact because it was a question in Know Your Row last year. Let's see how strong your convictions are in this edition of
Know Your
Self. All right, it's Know Yourself. Let's start off with the front row. Seton, what did you say you would change about Paulie?
What did I say I would change? Well, I'm gonna say it's probably.
That means definitely.
He's a little. No, I really have no clue. Maybe it's probably got something to do with his remote control. He's a little anal about his area. And if the remote control for the TV has been moved, sort of like, I don't understand why somebody would move this. I mean, just put it back down where we found it. So that might be Paul's thing. I really don't know.
Is it Paulie's anal remotes? Okay, there we go. Let's see.
Anal remote.
Anal remote.
Is it?
I'd make him less edgy / nicer.
No.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
I wish you had told him to button that second button on his shirt.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you could have
That'd be the
changed.
first thing I'd change right now is that button.
Yeah, less edgy, more nicer. I think I have been in the past couple of years. Or am I going the other direction?
Hold on. Maybe that's why it didn't dawn on me now, because it's already changed.
Do you think?
Or maybe you should be more self-aware because I haven't seen that many.
Really? I thought.
Okay, one of two things happened. Either you've become nicer or I've become meaner.
Well, I know you become
One of the two.
Yeah.
I've been trending downward at a rapid
Wowzers.
rate.
Don't look at it as a negative.
Fritzy, what did you say you would change about McLovin?
I think it's less a personality trait, more of a, and this is a small nitpicking thing, but like, you know, like in bumper cars at the amusement parks, a lot of times where, McLovin may be spilling things, thankfully not on my phone or anything that's valuable, not that I have anything valuable on my desk, but he'll sometimes he'll sit down and his chair will come sliding and bang right into my chair and knock me around, but outside of that, I don't know if that's kind of weak, but he'll acknowledge it often and say, oh, I'm sorry about that, and almost send me flying into the wall. But I would probably, if I had to pick something, I'd say, smashing into me with his chair.
Is it what he said?
That he chews a little too loud. Although sometimes he'll take his food into another section of the place because he doesn't like me commenting about his food when I say it smells good or what do you got there, what are you eating, or he gets really upset about his food. But there is some loud chewing that goes on. There's a little loud chewing there. That's not the first thing that comes to mind. He's eating healthy, he's eating salads and stuff, and some of that, roughage will make.
See, I don't buy this because I try not to eat next to you because you always start asking me questions about my food.
Yeah, you don't like, oh, what do you got there? Chicken Caesar?
Right, which is unfortunate because then you come up to stand near us so we can listen to you.
What do you?
I've gotten better at that, though.
Should we get into
this?
Brock, can I weigh in here?
Sure.
Wow, this is a wild scene, man.
This is a wild scene.
Fritzy is as notorious a mouth open chewer as I've ever known in my life. And
He's a notorious loud soup slurper.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to really get his hair on it.
Also enjoys sneezing without covering his face or mouth area.
Wow.
Fascinating that he call it. Now, McLovin is also somewhat of a mouth open chewer.
True.
It's more so that he's loud when he does it. I don't know if he does it. I think Fritzy chews with his mouth open much more often. McLovin is a more intense eater, so it's louder.
Well, I think, I think that Andrew's a snacker and he eats all day long, so you're sort of always listening to him eat.
But he doesn't.
But he's not always in your vicinity, so you just have a higher ratio to catch Andrew doing it. Todd never eats. So when we are actually around him, that not only is he eating food, but he's also eating food with us, which is also a rarity.
Right.
That's when you're like, whoa, Todd's a loud eater.
I agree with that, Seton, but I think that Fritzy's ratio of bites to mouth open is 1-to-1, while Andrew is a 3 bites to 1 mouth open ratio.
Interesting.
If I check my notes.
Enough of the Emily Post lesson here. All right, Paulie, what did you say you would want to change about Seton?
Wow, this is, I'm not annoyed by Seton with anything. I'm trying to think of something, and I don't want to make something up because it's, I wish he would shave the beard, because just to mix it up, and then grow it back and bring it back, just for variety. he's kept the beard. Now, that being said, I learned recently that the wife likes the beard, which kind of takes that off the table. So I'm not bothered by anything with Seton, but I wish he'd change a beard just for show variety's sake.
All right, is it shaving the beard?
I don't have any problems with Seton, so this is a tough one. I'm going to say I'm going to change something about him that he's never had before. I'd give him a tan.
Give him a tan.
Pretty good line.
I gotta tell you, I once got terribly sunburned. My senior class trip, we went to Florida, and we were there for a week, and I was just out with my buddies, no shirt and whatever, and I got the worst sunburn of my life, which was terrible because it ruined the rest of my trip. However, just on the other side of that sunburn was the only and best tan I've ever had, and ever since then I've never really gone back. Man, maybe I'll go fake tan spray.
I'll buy. If you go fake tan, I'm buying.
I like it.
I like that.
Especially because we're just heading into fall right now.
Deep winter.
Right. And finally, Pearl, what did you say you would have changed about Fritzy?
Here,
I think I said the pump fake. I think that was one of my options. Yeah, Todd will raise his hand, then put it down, then raise his hand, then put it down. And Dan doesn't like it.
And occasionally, Andrew will eye on me 8 pump fakes so far.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what's going on?
And the pump fake is guaranteed that Todd will miss the moment, because if you pump fake more than twice, there's no way that comes.
Yeah, I don't know which one comes before the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pump fake because, I was going to say that, or another times it's like, he's not calling on me.
What's the pump fake to throat clear ratio, Andrew?
All right, we will get to that after this
much
response here. Here it is. Was it the pump fake?
Fritzy has a habit of asking or mentioning my food during lunch. Like, hey, what you got there? A chicken parm? I hate that. You've learned your lesson on that, though.
Really
You've stopped doing it.
I don't say anything about anything.
Especially because, like, if you're dieting or something, then yeah.
No, but I've realized that was really annoying to, besides being Captain Obvious and so many other facets of what comes out of my mouth. When you're very sensitive about your food, you don't need me to say, what do you got there? Fish tacos? It's like, what does that accomplish?
It's usually, but it's more implied. It's like, oh, you have chicken wings. I want your chicken wings, but I was too dumb not to order chicken wings.
That's definitely part of it. But but acknowledging something that is already obvious that you want to eat without me commenting on it, you really, really don't like.
And with that, the winning row is nobody. Nobody knows themselves, but we found out a little bit more about everyone, so congratulations. This is the box where we are taking a break to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one, and it knows itself. It is #1 in our hearts. Guts, glory, Ram. We're back here on the box score. Today, a caller called in to weigh in about the bro versus nerd conversation you were having on quarterbacks, but then brought up the old DP show Brodeo party that they had. Now, Seton, has that died on the vine, or is this a sign of its resurrection?
Well, no, I mean, the Brodeo, packed up and moved out west. So there's really no Brodeo without those two bros.
But was Brodeo ever really going to happen?
No.
I thought it was.
Oh, wait, look, listen.
I thought it might.
Brodeo, as far as I am concerned, was immediately added to that long list of stuff that the show's definitely going to do that we know there's no chance it's ever going to happen. Okay, we're not going over to the UK.
Yeah. We're
right?
not.
We're not. We're not going to an
soccer?
Olympics. No. We're not. We can't even get to Indianapolis at this point. How the hell are we going to do a show from overseas?
We're not going to do Adam Sandler's Western.
No, we're not doing Adam Sandler's Western. We're not doing any of those.
We're not going to go to Barclays or Dale Earnhardt Jr.
We're not going to either one of those. No. There's just and that was Brodeo. Hold on a second. We can't even get all of us to go to dinner. We're going to go camping for the weekend?
That's true. That's my fault.
I mean, what? Are we crazy?
Fritzy, what would you like to see happen if you guys could get a Brodeo together?
What would I like to see happen?
No guys and all girls.
Ooh. That's.
I would bet you 1,000. I would bet you every dime I have in the bank that Fritzy would not attend.
I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. I think.
Let's say we put together and I found a little lake house in Maine. And it was just the 5 of us, and there's food and drink and beer
and
boats.
Is there a clean bathroom and stuff like that?
There's an outhouse.
Yeah,
and would you go, or would you find a way out of it?
I'd probably ultimately, I'd be honest,
Which means 100%
I'd
yes.
find a way out of it. Because and I don't know how comfortable you guys would be if I brought some magazines or videotapes.
That would be the weekend you schedule your hernia that you've had for 6 years.
Or a colonoscopy.
You'd be like, I gotta have it that. That's the only time I can do it.
A little voluntary colonoscopy instead of going hang with some buddies at a lake.
Nothing more broy than that.
You gotta weigh your options.
All right, with a clean heart, mind, and colon, Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Tomorrow is a work in progress. We are under construction, but Thursday in New York, there's a lot of stuff going on. Which am I allowed
Let's
to
stick with
tease
tomorrow.
that?
Let's stick
All
with
right,
tomorrow.
we'll save that for tomorrow. But we're kind of waiting on Brady news and
right now,
waiting
nothing.
on some other things. But to answer your question, Wednesday is Paul doesn't like when I say wide open. It's we're gonna have a great show no matter what tomorrow, and if we can add a few guests.
Brock, tune in and find out.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. We are back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on Audience Channel 239. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey! Thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!